Hello and welcome to today's video. So this is my testing TBR Games 5 video, and I think at least for now this is going to be the last one. I don't know, that's pretty exciting. I've got an idea of something I want to make, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll be ready for next month in January. And this month I am testing out Codie's Book Corner's Wheel of TBR Game. So all links for the channel and the game will be down below. And yeah, this is going to pick my December TBR. I made it pretty simple for myself. I did 6 spins. I can normally read around 8 books in a month, so 6 is a safe amount to dedicate for me, because if I'm having a bad month I can hopefully, fingers crossed, still get round to it. So obviously in Codie's videos there's normally a big wheel here that she spins, which is great and amazing, but I had no idea how to make that. So what I've actually done is I've got an articulate board here and I've put the arrow on backwards and made it this side, so like this is how it should look, but I just did it on the table because obviously like this isn't gonna spin freely. But yeah, I have already done the spins, which is why the board is a little bit worse for wear, because it has been sat on the side overnight and the cats have I think had a bit of a play with it. So yeah, but this is the board, this is how I did it. So all that I did was go through the last few Wheel of TBR videos and look at prompts that were on the board and wrote a fair few down until I felt like I got plenty. I think I did about 30 in the end, so more than enough. And yeah, so I set up the board, put the prompts on, just, you know, whack them out, no problem. And the basic aim of this is to spin the arrow, land on a prompt, pick a book out for the prompt. There are more rules when it comes to like landing on the same colour multiple times, but I didn't, so I don't know, spoiler, I didn't, but yeah, so I didn't need to worry about those. And obviously I've never played this game before, so there's no like punishments or forfeits or anything like that. So yeah, I think that is pretty much everything I needed to say first of all. Obviously the links to Codie's channel will be down below. She created this game, I'm literally just copying it and testing it out, and I will also link below the playlist for all of the TBR games that I've tested out. This is now number 5, so there are 4 previous and I've had a lot of fun doing all of them, so yeah. Let's get into it, I suppose. So our first spin, and here we go. So, for the first spin, we got boyfriend pick, and I've not been prepared with this one, and Jenny has to come give me a book.
So I've got to pick you a book. Are you filming?
Yeah, you can go round.
Right, so I've got to pick Heather a book. Yeah. Okay, yes, what it is. Occupied by Noam Chomsky.
Okay, so as you've just seen, Jay picked Occupied by Noam Chomsky. I have started this book before and I got, how far did I get into it? My bookmark's still there. I got 50 pages in, so I got about a third of the way in. When I used to work at a dessert shop when we were living at my dad's house, this was my buzz book for a couple of weeks, and then lockdown number 1 hit, so I never read any more and I forgot about it until I cleared out my bag going back to work after lockdown 1. So yeah, really can't remember a lot about what I read, and I will just start from the start and reread it, but I'm really excited about this. So since its appearance in Zuccotti Park, New York in September 2011, the Occupy movement has spread to hundreds of towns and cities across the world. No longer occupying small tent camps, the movement now occupies the global conscious as the messages spread from street protests to op-ed pages to the highest seats of power. From the movement's onset, Noam Chomsky has supported its critique of corporate corruption and encouraged its efforts to increase civic participation, economic equality, democracy and freedom. Through talks and conversations with movement supporters, Occupy presents Chomsky's latest thinking on the central issues, questions and demands that are driving ordinary people to protest. How did we get to this point? How are the wealthiest 1% influencing the lives of the other 99%? How can we separate money from politics? What would
a genuinely democratic election look like? How can we redefine basic concepts such as growth to increasing equality and quality of life for all? Occupy is another vital contribution from Chomsky to the literature of defiance and protest, and a red-hot rallying call to forge a better, more egalitarian future. Really excited to read this, really wanted to read it for a while, so I'm actually quite happy with Jay picking this. I think it is technically his book, I've just stolen it. And yeah, on to the next roll, I guess. I don't really have a lot else to say about it. I feel like you can get everything from it from the back of the book. I'm excited to read it, and I think it'll be a good read. I think it'll be a very dense read, so I do need to like prepare for that. Although it is small, there is a lot in here and a lot of information and context and thoughts, and yeah, so really excited. But I guess now we should spin the next roll. Next up, we got non-human main character. And I have quite a few books that would probably qualify for this. I have quite a lot of fantasy books and like big fantasies, but to be honest, I didn't want to start any series. That was my original thinking. I'm starting a series. But basically, I thought of going down the lines of like The Cruel Prince or Kingdom of the Wicked, or Beautiful Creatures, or where are we? Like Robin Hobb, one of those. Skullduggery Pleasant. Like I'd thought of doing those, but they were all going to be the start of very like big series, so I didn't. And then I've realised I do have this book here, which is All Systems Red, The Murderbot Diaries. So this is the first book in the Murderbot Diaries. It is a series, but they're all roughly like this big. And I found this in a charity shop, but I've heard a lot of good things about it through like BookTube. I believe Steph Loves has read these and really enjoyed them. And everyone that I've seen on BookTube who has read this has absolutely loved it. And it's super short, like it's only 150 pages. But if I do enjoy it, they're all around this size. And there are quite a few of them, but I just think they'll be good in between books. They're all basically like novella size. And to be honest, I'm excited to read it, and I didn't think I'd get round to it this year. So essentially my plan of not starting a series went out the window, and I've decided to start this one. And this is me talking myself into it being okay that I'm starting another series. But yeah. Right, I realise I've never actually said what it's about. It's about a murderbot. So what I know about this is there's a murderbot, and they're meant to just like murder. I'm pretty sure that's the concept of them. They are designed and engineered to murder. But I think this one starts to get like real feelings, maybe, potentially. Yeah, I don't know. Having a quick scan of the back because I don't want to read it properly, it doesn't actually say like that's the case, so I don't know what I'm thinking of. But here is the blurb on the back. If you do want to pause it and read it, go ahead. To be honest, I'm not going to. I don't want to. I want to go in and figure it out as we go. So yeah, let's do the next spin. Okay, so the next spin was page number, and I'm pretty sure I've done this correctly where it's just like a random number generator, you get a page number. So I just went to random.org, they have a random number generator on there, and I did a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 600. I do have books over 600 pages, but not many, and they're more than likely in a series, so I just thought 600 was a safe top number. And yeah, so I generated and we got the number 266. I had to look through a lot of my books, a lot. And the closest I've got to it was this book here, which is the start of a series. But a series I've read before, so I don't feel like it's a big commitment. I've read it before, I just want to reread it and put it on my like shelves downstairs. Essentially my shelves downstairs are only things that like I've read recently and completely could tell you about. Anything up here I've either not read or not read in a very long time, like 3 years or more. which I know doesn't take that long, but I had a massive break from reading it. It's a whole other story and I don't really need to over explain it, but essentially this book is 264 pages, which is 2 pages less, but it's the closest I could get and I'm quite happy with the fact I've managed to get it that close. So yeah, so this is Lord Lost by Darren Shan, and this is book 1 in the Demontonia series, Demonata series, and I'm going to call it the Demontonia loads. I know I am, because that's what I called it when I was young, and I first read this and I was probably in year 7 or 8 when I first read this. So how old are you then? Like 13, 14, so we're talking more than 10 years ago I read this series. So in my head it's the Demontonia, even though it's actually called the Demonata. If I slip up it's fine, basically. I'm giving myself an overall pass at this. But yeah, so this is book 1. It's a really amazing, really good series from what I can remember. I can't remember exactly what which book is about, but I can remember really, really enjoying all of them. So I might as well just read the back, because I'm not really going to spoil anything for myself anyway. I mean, I know you don't spoil yourself from reading the back, but sometimes if I haven't read a book and I've just heard loads of good things about it, I prefer to go in with like a completely empty head. But yeah, the door feels red hot, as though a fire is burning behind it. I press an ear to the wood, but there's no crackle, no smoke, just deep, heavy breathing, and a curious dripping sound. My hand's on the doorknob. Inside the room, somebody giggles, low, throaty, sadistic. There's a ripping sound, followed by snaps and crunches. My hand turns, the door opens, hell is revealed. When Grubs Codie first encounters Lord Lost and his evil minions, he learns 3 things. The world is vicious, magic is possible, demons are real. He thinks that he will never again witness such a terrible night of death and darkness. He is wrong. Yeah, really excited to get to this one. It is a reread for me, but I wanted to reread it for a while. I'm still really excited to get to it, and it's all good. And I don't really have much more of an explanation except for that. I mean, it either interests you or it doesn't, and it's also a reread, which makes it even more interesting for me. But yeah, that was for page number. It's the closest I could get. Okay, so for some reason I didn't show to the camera what it was, but hopefully you can see that it was flowers on the cover. So yeah, for this one I've ended up picking up Felix Ever After. This was technically on my November TBR, but my November TBR was 25 or something like that books, so just books I'd like to get to. And this isn't one of them that I managed to get to, but I still really want to read it. It's one of them that I really wish I had managed to get to, but I just know I'm not going to be able to. Like, it's only a few days after the month. So yeah, this is about Felix Love, and he's never been in love, and I believe it's like a contemporary romance. I still don't know a lot about this. I feel like my description's not going to be any better than from last month. Do you know what? Yeah, it's probably not going to be any better from last month, and you've probably heard of this book anyway. I'll put the writing on the screen whilst I tell you about what I know. If you want to pause it and read it, go ahead. From what I know, Felix is black, gay and transgender, and he basically needs to, from what I've heard, and I don't know if this is definitely the case, needs to like love himself before he can find love. I don't know if that's completely true. It's just kind of what I am getting from what I've heard in reviews and stuff, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be really interesting as well, and a really good read. And also the Waterstones edition has these edges which aren't focusing, but maybe I can make it focus. There we go. Like, those edges are just amazing, and I could not resist. I wanted to read this for a while, and December will be the month I read it, so let's spin again. The next spin I got was signed, and this just means a book that's signed. I don't really care about the edition or what condition they're in, as long as they're like readable, so I actually couldn't find any. But then I remembered this book. This is Foolhardy Folk Tales by Beans on Toast. This is a artist that I really like. His music is extremely interesting. and very political and talks about politics, the environment, just shit going on in the world basically. And he wrote a book. This is actually the second book, which does mean I've added the other book onto hopefully the end of my November TBR. It's only small, so hopefully, maybe. You don't need to read them in order, so if I don't read it, it doesn't matter. But this one we pre-ordered. We really wanted to get it. We've pre-ordered it and it is signed. So this is what I'm going for, to be honest. I'm quite happy because I don't normally prioritise my like non-fiction-y books. So the fact that this is the only book that I've got signed does mean I'm now prioritising it, so I'm really excited to get to this and read it. It's not really a book that's out there in like the booktube community, at least, because it's literally, this guy is, well, this one is a collection of folk stories about art, money, drugs and love, told firsthand by the songwriter and storyteller Beans on Toast. So like most people, unless you know who Beans on Toast is, you're not really going to care about reading it. So I haven't seen any reviews. In fact, I'm just loading the Goodreads page now and it's got 2 reviews and 21 ratings. So yeah, like very unknown. I don't know what I want to think about it and I want to know more, so hopefully I will enjoy it and I will like it and I'll be able to give it a review. And yeah, sounds good. Okay, and then the final spin got thriller. I actually have quite a few of these to choose from because I do mainly shop in charity shops and there's often thrillers in there that I've heard people on booktube talk about. For instance, you can probably see here The Guest List and The Hunting Party. I think we've got some more behind these books here. I think I found another few over here. Yeah, we've got like Girl on the Train. And yeah, we've just got quite a few all over the place, but the one I've decided to go for is The Family Upstairs because I've heard interesting things about this. I'm going to read the back because I think that's the easiest thing to do. Be careful who you let in. In a large house in London's fashionable Chelsea, a baby is awake in her cot. Well fed and cared for, she is happily waiting for someone to pick her up. In the kitchen lie 3 decomposing corpses. Close to them is a hastily scrawled note. They've been dead for several days. Who has been looking after the baby and where did they go? That sounds really interesting to me. Honestly, I hate kids and I hate babies, so I hope it doesn't focus too much on that. But I'm assuming it doesn't, else that would have been mentioned. Like, I've seen people talk about this in like wrap-ups and stuff like that. So I'm hoping it's just a good spooky thriller. On Goodreads, it's marked as mystery firstly and then thriller secondly. So I'm classing it as a thriller. People have marked it as that. From the people that I follow on Goodreads, it's got a 2-star review, 2.75 star review, a 5-star review, a 4-star review and a 4-star review. So that's really quite mixed. And I want to know where I fall. And I also don't really read thrillers. I own a few because like every so often I want to pick one up. But I don't really have a lot of things to base it off. So I feel like that might up my enjoyment more as well because I haven't read all of the twists and turns that many people do. So like, even if it is one that's repeated, it'll probably still be new to me. So yeah, I'm really excited about it and really excited about the entire stack, to be honest. Like, this is, yeah, quite a good reading month, hopefully. So yeah, those are the 6 books I'm reading for definite. I'll probably add a few more in as I go, hopefully. Fingers crossed it's a good month. I don't know. I don't know how December's planning out at the moment. November's been a pretty good month. You'll see that probably next week in a November wrap-up video, but I've had a relatively good reading month, so I'm hopeful December will continue on. There's no reason why it shouldn't. So yeah, I do hope that you enjoyed the video. Again, all links to the original creator and original game will then be down below, as long as the other TBR videos if you are interested in testing out some more games. And hopefully next month I will bring you my very own game. So yeah, do give the video a like if you liked it, subscribe down below if you'd like to see more, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye!